Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and today we are doing the newest and hardest dungeons in the game, Susanoomon dungeon, using the strongest Digimon in the game, Shoutmon X7 Superior mode. The double stats have ended and the new dungeon is released, so let's enter and do it with a party. Now the dungeon requires Timber level 140 and Digimon level 140, and similar to your based dungeon, you get tickets per week on your mail and it gives you 3 items, but you need all 3 items to enter, so it's basically 1 entry per week. Now because the dungeon just released, they will give everyone 18 Susanoomon strays, so you should be able to do it for 6 times. So now spoiler alert, this dungeon is super duper hard, and yeah, I don't have the hit economy. As you guys can see, I'm not hitting a single hit, and even when I do, I am not landing critical hits, and that's because the required hit rate to actually hit the boss, as far as I'm aware, is about the same as Orbis hard. So you need about 13,000, and keep in mind I have double advantage and I'm still not critting, and also the crit rate is also crazy high. I think it's 320, 330, something like this, and I have only 310. So when I eventually do some normal attacks, I still don't do critical hits, and as you can see, the entire party we're barely doing any damage. And yeah, I think you know the drill by now. I don't think we're gonna be able to do it, but let's talk about what you would get from the dungeon if you manage to do it. So the guaranteed reward is the Destruction and Regeneration box, which gives you these items: 20 Terra guaranteed, and 11 Digicode piece, and 10 Seal Master pack of Destruction and Regeneration, which can give you the new seals. So these are the new seals, and the numbers on the left is the amount of stats you get when you max out the seals, and the number on the right is the amount of seals you need to reach masters. They work different than other seals. You don't need 3000 to reach master, you need whatever number that's written here, something like Shoutmon DX, for example, needing 400 seals only to reach masters, and will give you 300 defense. So the seals are definitely very strong, but you know, you need to do the dungeon to get it. And of course, the Digicode piece is used to craft the new Digivice, and actually it's very strong. So if we take a look at it, first off, you need 1 Digicode piece to get the Digicross Loader level 1, which barely gives you any stats. It gives you 20 attack and it only have 1 ship set, but that doesn't matter because you can upgrade to either the Digicross Loader or the Digimon Fusion Loader, which gives the same stats. The exception is that last Digivice looks different. So even if you upgrade to the first level, that is good enough because it gives you a maximum of 10% stats when it comes to attribute and 7% to element, which makes it the exact same as true Digivice and the D-Arc Digivice. So this is a very good Digivice, and it basically only requires 1 or 2 runs of the dungeon. So if you manage to do at least 1 run, you might, or at least 2 runs, you are guaranteed to get basically a 3rd Digivice, which is pretty good. At level 5 it becomes better. I don't know the amount of stats you get, but we know that it's now started to be 5 ship sets, and the last one gives you 6 ship sets, and the stats you get is up to 15% additional damage to attribute and 12% to element, which makes it by far the strongest Digivice in the game. And there is also additional rewards that are dropped on the ground with a certain chance, and they are random, so you are not guaranteed them, but you are guaranteed to drop 4 Digicode piece on the ground and 15 Steel Master pack, and another 50% chance to get 2 Digicode piece, and 20% to get 10 up to 15 Terra, and 1% to get the X7 Superior mode seal, and 0.5% to get the sealed cross loader, and give you these items: random amount of Digicode piece and pack, which honestly pretty crazy, but the chance is really low, and even if it drops, it will be given to only 1 person. So yeah, there's a new dungeon. As you can see, we're doing the run. We're barely doing any damage, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave you guys with the run. Unfortunately, I don't have the stats to actually do a successful run. The amount of hit rate and critical rate that you need to actually do damage is pretty high, and the HP requirements, I've been told, also is pretty high. Now this dungeon is probably not doable with Goatmons. I know people like to cheese a lot of dungeons with Goatmons. It's probably not doable because this dungeon summons stuff. At 70% it will start summoning tower, and you're gonna have to go and kill those towers, and I think at 50% or something like that, it will also start summoning spirits, and it even summons Kaiser Greymon and Magnagarurumon, and you're gonna have to kill these summons. Obviously Goatmons will not be able to kill the summons, so Goatmon is a no-go this time. You can't cheese it with Goatmon, and after you finally kill the first Susanoomon, it will summon another Susanoomon, which is the final boss that will give you the reward after you defeat it. And I think it's a bit easier, and also seems to be a debuff in the dungeon that reduces your block rate by 80%. So yeah, rip block is now relevant. So yeah, it is super hard dungeon. I'm just gonna let you watch the full run anyway, but I think you know what's gonna happen. So it's super hard, but honestly super good if you manage to do it. Now there is one thing that makes me hopeful about this dungeon is the fact that when we get a max level increase, this dungeon will be easier, because with level advantage you will probably not need as much hit rate or critical rate, which means you will be able to do damage, which also means you can now use the stats on your accessories. Instead of having to go for lots of hit and critical rate, you can go for more like offensive or defensive stats like attribute or damage, or I guess HP for survivability. So yeah, I think it's doable if you have the stats, if you have like basically maxed account, insane amount of steals, and actually good stats on your actually perfect accessories to have as much hit rate and critical rate. So it's very hard. Unfortunately, I was not able to do it even with superior mode, so you will need to have very good seals and very good accessories to do it. And the reward is good, but honestly, it's just way too hard as of now. So yeah, with that, thank you very much for watching. I will leave you guys with the run, and let me know in the comments what you think about the dungeon, and see you guys in the next video.